Dan, Lex has an unexpected item in its bagging area today. You're a blogger for Alphaville, but Tesco has problems. It's reported results today which show underlying pre-tax profit last year was down almost 8%. You've written on this for Alphaville today, we've written on it for Lex, but we have a slightly different diagnosis of the problem. So what's yours?
Well, I think it's interesting to take the long view here. So if you look back 10 years ago, so 10 years ago, the Tesco share price was about £3, which is about where it is now. So let's go back 10 years. In that time, sales have pretty much doubled, profits have pretty much doubled, the size of the business has pretty much doubled. But one thing which hasn't doubled when you look at it now is the amount of money that Tesco is spending in terms of capital spending, investment in its business, building new stores, that sort of thing. And when you look back over pretty much 20 years, and for the whole of Sir Terry Leahy's reign before the current CEO, Philip Clark, for most of his reign, Tesco was a growth machine. And part of the reason was they were spending an enormous amount on capital spending. And that carried on growing, and it grew in line with profits and sales and everything like that, up until about 2009. Since then, we've had the financial crisis. Lots of companies have been trying to find other ways to get cash. And it looks like Tesco have simply been cutting back on the amount they've been investing on their business for 3 or 4 years now. And that's the effect you're seeing.
Yeah, see, and this is where Lex differs slightly, because we see Tesco continuing to add stores, including large supermarkets, and we think, well, look, for return on capital, that can't be good. If margins are challenged in UK food retailing, you have to cut back on capital to get your return on capital up. Therefore, capex bad. We don't want to do that.
Well, I think the thing that you really have to understand about being a grocer is your business is not going to change very quickly whatsoever. Like you have the same customers who broadly buy the same thing every month. And they go to your store or they go to a competitor's store. And none of that changes very simply. So you can say, yes, they've got a new chief executive in, or they can try and tweak that at the margins. But the economy isn't going to help you out. You're in a very competitive business. This isn't something which you can just turn around in 6 months.
Okay, well, what does that mean for valuation then, considering the shares now as then are £3?
Well, that's really interesting. 10 years ago, you were paying about 20 times earnings for a share price of £3. Now you're paying about 10 times earnings for a share price of £3. And that simply reflects the difference in growth prospects for this business. Tesco now has 110 million square feet of retail space around the world, whereas it used to have 40-something. And the thing here is, there's a sort of a trick going on with grocery. You look at it and you think this is an incredible fast-growing business. But Tesco overall, its entire business is worth, I think, £31 billion, you said. Tesco's invested more than £36 billion in its business over the last 10 years. What are you really getting here?
Okay, we'll have to find out what's in store, literally. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks a lot.